Welcome back. In this video, we're going to begin our unit where we discuss techniques of integration. We're going to learn lots of different techniques, but for this specific video, we're going to talk about using basic formulas. So what we see listed here is a brief table of integrals. Now, this table that we're looking at has 20 odd integrals in it. Your textbook has a table of integrals with 157 common integrals or integral patterns that people know and we use to simplify integration. It is not required that you memorize the entire table of 157, but you should certainly be familiar with these first 20. You may notice that number 2 in our table of integrals is merely the power rule, or number 4, the integral for e to the x is e to the x. So, as we move through this unit and we approach much more difficult problems that need to be integrated, we may need to rely on our table. The point of me presenting that now is just so that you know, hey, there is this table of all these different integrals and we have them available to us. Let's look at a problem. Here we have the integral from 5 to 3 of 2x minus 3 divided by the square root of the quantity x squared minus 3x plus 1, integrating with respect to x. So we're going to, see lots and lots of different integrals, and we are going to be figuring out or determining the best way to approach these problems. In this case, this is merely a U-substitution problem, which you learned about in Calc 1, but pointing out, we're going to eventually use our power rule, and the power rule was number 2 in my table, right? So you could rationalize that you're using the table to help you solve this integral. In order to integrate this, I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to leave 2x minus 3 in the numerator, and I'm going to take that x squared minus 3x plus 1 and write that to the negative 1/2 power also now in the numerator. Here I can do a U substitution. I'll say let U equal x squared minus 3x plus 1. Then the derivative of U with respect to x is 2x minus 3, or rather du equals 2x minus 3 dx. Of course, we always talk about changing our bounds. So since I had 5 and 3, I'm going to plug both of those in to x and determine what my u value is. Doing those, I'm going to end up with u going from 1 to 11. 3 squared minus 3 times 3 plus 1 is positive 1, and 5 squared minus 5 times 3 plus 1 is 11. So my new integral is the integral from 1 to 11 of u to the negative 1/2 du. And using number 2 from my table on the first screen, I know that this would be using that power rule, which gives me u to the 1/2 divided by 1/2 will give me a 2 in the front, and we'll evaluate that from 11 to 1. So I have 2, 11 to the 1/2 minus 1 to the 1/2, which is 2 times the square root of 11 minus 1, or 2 root 11 minus 2. I prefer the factored form. All right, so moving forward in this unit, we're going to learn lots and lots of different strategies. But this first section is really just to remind you about strategies that we already know. So it's not going to be a lot of new integrals, just kind of a refresher here of how we integrate different types of problem. Moving forward, we will build to integration by parts and integration with trig substitution, many other methods, especially, going back to using those tables more.